My roommate Ethan is the campus ice prince, but we've always been like oil and water. When I lost a truth or dare challenge requiring us to hold a sheet of paper between our faces for 10 seconds, the damn paper slipped. I shoved him away immediately, wiping my mouth as I glared. Ethan, what the hell was that? Problem? Princess? His frosty blue eyes glinted with amusement. Later during another round, the dare involved feeling his six-pack. My fingers accidentally dipped lower. Like what you see. He purred. Holy shit. This changed everything. Staring at my fifth card, I groaned. The king's command rang out. Numbers 5 and 7, maintain the paper kiss for 10 seconds. Of course 7 was Ethan, my academic rival, roommate, and the guy who'd rejected my crush Emily. Our mutual hatred stemmed from two things: his permanent resting bitch face since move-in day, and him breaking Emily's heart when she confessed. We stood like Wild West duelists as someone positioned the paper barrier. The instant our faces tilted forward, the sheet fluttered to the floor. Our lips collided. I froze at the unexpected warmth, then tried jerking back. His teeth sank into my lower lip, trapping me. 10 eternal seconds of chaos later, I exploded. Ethan, you fucking psycho. Relax. Just a game. His smirk made me want to break his perfect nose. The crowd's wolf whistles forced me to swallow my rage. I drowned my humiliation in cheap vodka until the room spun. Stumbling into our dorm later, I lunged at that infuriating face but tripped, my mouth crashing against something minty and suspiciously soft. Blinking, I found myself pinning Ethan to his bed. His stupidly perfect features twisted in discomfort. Revenge tasted sweet as I bit down hard on his shoulder. Fuck, he hissed, hands flying to my hips. The vodka haze lifted just enough to realize two things. My crotch was grinding against his. He was very much enjoying this. Still think it's just a game, right? I growled. Alcohol-fueled boldness overriding common sense. His laughter vibrated against my chest. Prove you can play better? Then. Challenge accepted. A muffled groan seemed to come from Ethan beside me. I bit down harder. Suddenly, something felt off. Though I was physically pinning him down, Ethan somehow controlled the situation. He allowed my movements. His gaze slowly drifting downward from my confused face. Whatever he saw made him chuckle darkly. You're getting excited. Want me to help you out? The words exploded in my brain like thunderclaps, echoing relentlessly. I jolted awake, heart pounding. Morning light confirmed it had all been a dream. During lectures, I couldn't focus, mortified by the absurd fantasy. Classmates kept sneaking glances at me until I checked the campus forum. My blood froze. Which motherfucker did this? I roared at the viral video of Ethan and me from yesterday, already trending with 10,000 likes. Someone had added a cheesy romantic soundtrack to our awkward encounter. Was this targeting me or Ethan? Emily would definitely misunderstand. I needed to explain immediately. I'm straight as an arrow. No bending possible. New notifications flashed, a photo of Ethan and Emily walking together. My feet rooted to the ground, chest tightening with bitter frustration. If he's not interested, why keep stringing her along? Heaven seemed to agree. Unleashing torrential rain. Soaked to the bone, I trudged back to the dorm. My afternoon classes canceled. I collapsed into bed. Hours later, bladder screaming, I stumbled toward the bathroom. The room spun violently. Thud. Cold hands pressed against my burning forehead. I struggled to open leaden eyelids. 40 degrees Celsius fever. The nurse announced when I woke in the infirmary. Your roommate saved your life. Ethan? Since when did that ice prince care? Memory fragments surfaced, me clinging to his arm, face burning with more than fever. The discharge bill showed he'd paid everything. Back in our room, I stared at his unoccupied bed. 2 years as roommates, yet we'd never exchanged numbers. My phone felt heavy. However complicated things were, I owed him. Dinner invitation? Face-to-face thanks? His desk drawer stood slightly ajar, revealing prescription bottles. I reached instinctively when the door creaked open. Ethan leaned against the doorframe, breathing heavily with a deathly pale complexion. Quick, pass me my medication. I swiftly uncapped the pill bottle and handed him the tablets with a glass of water. Watching him tremble in my arms, concern tightened my chest. I'd never seen him this vulnerable before, fragile as porcelain. After settling him into a chair, Color gradually returned to his face. Congenital heart condition, he stated flatly, as if discussing someone else's near-fatal episode. Missed my dosage window today. Guilt prickled my skin. Had my earlier accident at the infirmary caused this? I apologized profusely while vowing to watch over him. But resolve hardened as I stepped closer. Stay away from Emily. Compassion aside. Some boundaries couldn't be crossed. Ethan's laugh held knives. You lecturing me about love? His gaze raked over me. Do you even know what passion feels like? What gives you the right? The questions hung like smoke. Did I truly care for Emily? Or was I just chasing the campus belle fantasy? Before I could untangle this, Ethan emerged from the shower, droplets gliding down his sculpted torso. My jaw dropped. The guy I dismissed as scrawny had 8 defined abs and that V-line every gym rat covets. Hands to yourself, he deadpanned, tossing on a tee before claiming his bed. Undeterred, I slid under his comforter. Come on, bro, just want to feel those gains. My fingers brushed something unexpectedly substantial. Ethan trapped my wrist, smirk blooming. Like what you found. Heat flooded my face as I bolted to my own bed. That accidental touch resurrecting forbidden dream fragments. True to his word, Ethan became my personal meal service during basketball training. Marry me if you were a girl. I joked through a mouthful of cafeteria fries, genuinely moved by his care. He merely tilted his head, sunlight catching his unfairly long lashes. So you've been fantasizing about this face? The cafeteria erupted in hoots as I choked on my soda. This bro code thing was getting complicated. The rice in my mouth sprayed out as my eyes widened, convinced I was hallucinating. What the actual hell? Ethan chuckled, handing me a tissue. Just kidding. Why so jumpy? Relief washed over me. Since when did this guy crack jokes? Not funny at all, almost gave me cardiac arrest. I shoveled more rice into my mouth to mask my unease. Game day arrived with a massive basketball court packed to capacity. Scanning the crowd, I locked eyes with Ethan in the second row, shooting him a cocky grin. We trailed during first half, forcing our coach to regroup. After strategic adjustments, we stormed back. My climactic slam dunk sealed the comeback victory. The arena erupted as my teammates and I chest bumped in triumph. Emily approached clutching an unsealed water bottle, her timid offer momentarily disorienting me. Old me would have been ecstatic. This was the chance I'd once craved. But Ethan's harsh truth had rewired my brain. Spotting him by the exit with water and towel in hand, I decisively brushed past campus royalty to snatch his bottle, guzzling loudly before slinging an arm around his neck. Admiring your big bro now? I taunted, relishing his eye roll. When teammates summoned me, I told Ethan to wait outside. Post-victory dinner plans solidified. I went to retrieve him only to freeze. He was exchanging contacts with some stunning brunette, their easy laughter stinging unexpectedly. My celebratory mood evaporated during the silent walk back to dorms. That evening, realizing I'd forgotten to update Ethan, I texted him mid-teammate ribbing, checking in with the missus? Captain Lucas whipped already? I playfully shoved the joker, brushing it off. Throughout the meal, my phone held half my attention. Was he taking meds? Sleeping properly? Alcohol flowed freely as night deepened, stripping away my squad's decorum. Some idiot draped over my shoulders slurred. Bet Ethan's the type to look hot crying in bed. Glass met skull with crystalline violence before anyone reacted. Shards rained down as I stood, jacket swinging up, fisting bloody hair. I tapped the whimpering face. Trash like you doesn't get to mention his name. Library days later found me studying Ethan's focused profile, scholarship ace versus my jock admission. Spotting my relentless admirer, I yanked him into shadowy shelves. Block me, I hissed, pressing against his back as the tenacious freshman passed. Post-tournament fame had spawned this nightmare. Rejections meant nothing to her. His quiet laugh vibrated through me. Scared of a girl? Captain. Shut it, I muttered, chin hooked over his shoulder, breathing in his stupid expensive shampoo. Couldn't explain why this felt safe. Afraid he'd make noise, I covered Ethan's mouth. Our eyes locked, momentarily paralyzing me. Ethan placed his hand over my chest, gently pulling my hand away before leaning close to my ear. Your heart is so loud. Flustered, I shoved out of his arms. I'm going to take a leak. Finish up and head back to the dorm without me. Damn organ, if it didn't pound like that, I'd be dead. As I reached for my zipper, retching noises erupted by the door. That bastard Lucas nearly killed me earlier. Gotta admit. A slurred voice sneered. Ethan's got that tight ass I'd love to. My spine snapped rigid at the name. Turning, I recognized the trash I'd beaten yesterday, still bandaged. Should have finished the job. My boot cracked his ribs before he hit the floor. His 2 lackeys fell quicker. Been winning fights since elementary school. Returning to the dorm, I found Ethan frowning at my face. My fingers found fresh cuts, humiliation burning my ears. He wordlessly opened the first aid kit, applying antiseptic with unnecessary force. Those shitheads were vulgar about you, I confessed when his glare intensified. My berserk button. Ethan froze, then smirked with dark amusement. After bandaging me, he leaned in until our breaths tangled. Let them talk. Seeing you hurt bothers me more. Since when did I adopt a seductive fox spirit? Lately, Ethan been distracted. After some phone call days ago, he turned ghost pale and stopped returning to our dorm. My texts went unanswered while I drowned in basketball recruitments. Today, seeing his laundry gone from the hallway, I grinned, finally cornering him. The smile died as I shoved open our door. Bare walls. Strip bed. My phone buzzed. Lucas. Ethan dropped out. Campus forums confirmed it. Photos of his parents at the admin office. Hands shaking. I sprinted to our advisor for his home address. Under the scorching sun, I reached his house only to find strangers moving in. They immigrated overseas. The new owner said, slumping against the wall. I tasted salt. Were we not brothers? Not worth a damn goodbye? Even radio silence would have been kinder. Tears slowly rolled down, splattering concrete with the friendship's corpse. 3 years later, I entered the workforce and found a job I loved. Watching children's laughter echo across the playground, I became an elementary school PE teacher. The time that had passed felt just right, long enough to lock away those memories. As I reminisced about my youth, a child's sob snapped me to attention. I rushed over to find a student with a bleeding knee. Comforting the tearful kid, I carried them to the infirmary shouting, "We need help here. My student's bleeding." The moment the doctor turned around, my breath caught. 2 identical people couldn't exist, yet there he stood. His ID badge confirming the impossible, Ethan Wright. My feet rooted to the floor as he adjusted his glasses, gesturing toward the examination table. I forced steady breaths through clenched teeth while waiting, perching stiffly on a chair. When he finally approached smiling after treating the injury, anger surged through me. Grabbing his collar, I demanded, "Why did you vanish without a word?" My carefully constructed calm shattered when Ethan's arm circled my waist, his thumb brushing moisture from my cheek. Only then did I realize I was crying. Struggling to push away, I found myself trapped in his unyielding embrace. I underwent heart surgery, he murmured against my shoulder. Nearly died on that table. If I hadn't made it, I wanted to disappear from your life completely. But here I am. His quiet confession about mortality left me trembling. Before I could respond, he nuzzled into my neck repeating "missed you" until my face burned crimson. I instinctively punched his arm. Since when did this guy get so corny with glasses on? The 3 years between us dissolved like mist. At the faculty mixer that evening, Ethan reappeared surrounded by giggling teachers. His damn charm magnetized women wherever he went. Older colleagues bombarded me with blind date offers until someone shouted, "Lucas, who was your first kiss?" Just as I prepared to dodge the question, Ethan's voice cut through. He gave me his first kiss. Still waiting on that first love though. The room plunged into silence. My face turned beet red. What's gotten into him today? Mercifully, the conversation shifted. Later, when tipsy colleagues challenged him to drinking games, I intercepted the whiskey shot, dragging him outside. I growled, "We're leaving," to the group. His fingers laced through mine as we escaped into the night. I dragged Ethan under a street light, exasperated. "What the hell was that back there? You just blurt out whatever comes to mind?" Ethan looked completely unrepentant, not seeing any issue. He even countered by asking if his statement wasn't factual. Well, technically yes, but verbalizing it felt awkward. Since I'd had some drinks and didn't drive, I had him drop me at my apartment. My place near campus made commuting to work easier. Ethan shot me a look before making his move. "Just got back from overseas. Haven't found housing yet. Let's room together. Split rent 50-50. Sleep on it? He said. Though his definition of sleeping on it turned out to be literal. My weekend sleep got ruined by doorbell chimes at dawn. There he stood with luggage, smirking at my bedhead. Thoughtful consideration, windows closed, he declared, bulldozing through my groggy protests. Our coexistence started surprisingly smooth, like old college days revived. Until one morning, I found him suited up with Windsor not perfection. I whistled. Big interview? Blind date? He dropped casually. My coffee almost went airborne. It was national holiday? Campus deserted. I curled on the couch, inexplicably agitated. Picked up my phone to pester him about imaginary appliance malfunctions. First the bulb, then the washing machine. After my third flimsy excuse, Ethan's patience snapped. Out with it, Lucas. What's really going on? The question echoed in my head. What was I doing? Why this compulsive need to interrupt his date prep? My self-analysis hit dead ends. That evening, I casually probed while scrolling TikTok. So, how was the dating scene? He studied me intensely before answering. Promising. Might pursue it. Next morning during PE class, my whistle blasts carried extra edge. Students shot me wary looks as I barked calisthenic commands. My mind kept replaying his words. What's eating me? I mentally screamed. Coach Brooks. I turned to see Ethan in his lab coat, leaning against an oak tree. My pulse did this weird skip-jump thing. Dismissing the class, I jogged over. He handed me ice-cold Gatorade, wiping my neck with his monogrammed towel. The gesture transported us back to championship senior year. Watch out. His arm yanked me sideways as a rogue soccer ball whizzed past, smacking his temple instead. In the infirmary, I rummaged for antiseptic while he chuckled at my furrowed brows. Relax. It's just a bruise, Ethan said, finger tapping my forehead. His smile held that same reckless warmth from our dorm days, making my chest constrict strangely. Still laughing? I'm built like a tank. Since when do I need some scrawny twig like you playing bodyguard? I'd promised to protect Ethan since our school days. With that delicate pretty boy face of his, the last thing he needed was a scar. Oblivious to my irritation, he shifted to lie flat, resting his head on my thighs. Watching his eyelids flutter shut as he drifted off, I set aside my things. This bastard really knew how to get comfortable. His relaxed features eventually lulled me to sleep too. The blaring class bell jolted me awake hours later. My hand clutched something warm and pliant. Muscle memory made me squeeze. Still got those grabby hands? That into it? My eyes snapped open to meet Ethan's smirk. I turned robotically toward my fist. Why was I holding his dick? And why had I fucking squeezed it? I bolted before the humiliation could fully register. Social suicide. Absolute goddamn nightmare. He'd think I'm some pervert now. Though objectively speaking, it had felt impressively sizable. I wouldn't see Ethan for a week, sent to some inter-school training program. 2 more days, his text said. Boredom drove me to clean, but the vacuum was missing. He always organized these things. I dialed his number. Hello. Who's asking for Ethan? A woman's honeyed voice answered. My chest tightened oddly before footsteps transferred the call. Silence stretched between us. Breath static crackling. Ethan laughed coldly. You've always been a coward. The line died. I should have cursed him out. Instead, his words festered. Craved a cigarette. But I'd quit years ago. At the basketball team's bar hangout, my friends ribbed me about Ethan's return. Even the fried chicken lost its appeal. I drowned another beer. Ryan elbowed me, grinning. Remember when you nearly killed Ryan sophomore year? Scared the hell out of everyone. Ryan, the trash who'd made vulgar comments about Ethan's ass. I smacked Ryan's head. Why bring up that creep? Look at you. All Grim Reaper vibes again. Protect Ethan much? People might think you're into him. Into him. Into him. The words detonated. Suddenly, every sabotage date, every clenched fist when he'd left for college made sense. Too late. He'd already found someone. Stumbling home drunk, I froze. Why were the lights on? Until I saw the person sitting on the couch. I didn't realize he'd returned. Why did Ethan come back early without telling me? Ethan frowned as he helped me sit down. I leaned against his chest, sniffing his shirt. Since when did he wear women's perfume? Before I could ask, I grabbed his wrist. My voice cracked. What's this? A pink hair tie circled his hand. I clawed at the elastic band desperately, but it clung stubbornly to his wrist. My vision blurred with angry tears. He pinned me against the couch cushions, looming over me with dark intensity. Lucas. His voice dropped dangerously low. What gives you the right? Ryan's warning echoed in my ears. You want to confess? Are you even sure he feels the same? Don't ruin your friendship over this. Right. What right did I have? Some pathetic secret admirer? How laughable. But Ethan kept pushing. What? Why push me like this? Rage exploded through me as I fisted his collar. Because I'm fucking in love with you. You oblivious asshole. My shout echoed in the sudden silence. I defended him through every high school rumor, shielded him like some precious bloom. This realization that I'd fallen for my best friend burned like acid in my throat. Ethan's lips twisted in a strange smile. He removed his glasses slowly. My breath hitched as his fingers gripped my chin, his mouth crashing against mine. The obscene wet sounds of our kiss filled the quiet apartment. This had to be the alcohol. No way Ethan was actually shoving his tongue down my throat. I woke alone in tangled sheets. Last night's memories flooding back. The hair tie. My confession. Then, nothing. The empty apartment felt colder than winter. Don't ruin your friendship. The same hollow fear from when he'd suddenly transferred schools gripped me. Just as I scrambled for the door, it opened. Ethan set down breakfast bags, thumb brushing my damp cheek. Crying again? He pulled me into his chest before I could protest. My face burned as I shoved at him. Since when did this weakling get so strong? The phone's feminine voice? The pink hair tie? Turned out to be his mother visiting during his business trip. The blind dates? All lies. Ethan snorted at my clenched fists. You really thought I packed your lunches and carried your books just to be friendly? His lips brushed my ear. We've shared saliva. Darling. You think we can go back to being buddies? Turns out this bastard's been thirsting after me since sophomore year. Later. Our class president sent reunion invites. I agreed to go during holiday break. Might as well bring Ethan along. At the gathering, everyone exchanged pleasantries. Ethan and I sat quietly in chairs cracking sunflower seeds while listening to gossip. So our campus heartthrob Ethan's back? You and Emily were the talk of the entire school back then. The former campus goddess looked as stunning as ever. Her adoring gaze toward him unchanged. As the official partner, I smirked inwardly. Ethan maintained his aloof demeanor, offering no response. The real awkwardness came from Lucas' loose tongue, no matter how I tried to shut him up. He kept embellishing stories about how I'd beaten up Ryan years ago. He spun ridiculous nicknames like Hell's Executioner, Dark-Faced Duo, and Corporate Tyrant until even I cringed, though Ethan seemed weirdly entertained. When Ethan suddenly booped my nose affectionately, both Lucas and I froze. What the hell was he doing? The guy sure knew how to make an entrance. Watching our dumbstruck friends scatter, I punched his arm in embarrassment. An uncomfortable prickle made me glance up. Speak of the devil, Ryan had been leering at Ethan with those slimy eyes. I glared back, shaking my fist in warning. Still itching for a beating? Trash? Ryan's face twisted as he recalled past humiliations. Checking my phone, I frowned at the empty seat beside me. How long does it take to pee? Did he get lost? After waiting 15 minutes, I headed toward the restrooms. No sign of him after checking every stall. Calling his phone, I stepped outside and froze at voices from the alley. Let me have a taste. And name your price. Ryan and his cronies had Ethan pinned against the wall, pawing at him. My knuckles cracked audibly. This cockroach never learns. Just as I moved to intervene, Ethan dropped them with a brutal elbow strike and shoulder throw. What followed was a masterclass in combat, precise, lethal moves leaving all three whimpering on concrete. He turned to leave, freezing when he saw me. Panic flashed across his face as he opened his mouth to explain. My mind short-circuited. Since when did our delicate flower Ethan fight like special forces? Before I could process this, Ryan stirred, reaching inside his jacket. Knife. I tackled Ethan, taking the blade in my side. A pained grunt escaped as I covered his eyes with blood, slick hands. Fuck. The bastard went for the kill. My back met cold pavement. Hands sliding from Ethan's horrified face as darkness swallowed me. Pathetic, letting him see me like this. Beeping machines greeted my return to consciousness. Ethan's crimson-rimmed eyes burned into mine from the hospital bedside. Did he really start crying? Can't handle a scare at all. I patted his cheek teasingly. Stop looking like a grieving widow. I won't make you stay single forever. Ethan pulled my hand away and kissed me, his lips trembling with residual fear. The wound was deep but not life-threatening. I never expected Ryan to be bold enough to carry a knife. No wonder Ethan had him hauled off to jail immediately. Staring at his gorgeous face and recalling his combat skills, I felt ridiculous for ever claiming to protect him. Had he been faking weakness this whole time? Unable to hold back, I asked. Ethan sat bathed in sunlight, elegantly peeling a pear with a knife. He gave me a loaded look. Had to spark your protective instincts so you'd focus entirely on me. I'd been fooled. This wasn't some innocent first love, but a damn fox in human form. The following 2 weeks of hospitalization crawled by. When a blushing nurse came to change my I didn't think much of it until she asked for my number. I awkwardly declined. Grateful Ethan had gone to get food. He returned with takeout minutes later, storm clouds in his eyes. Professor Brooks sure is popular, he hissed, crowding into my space. Before I could explain, he crushed his lips to mine in a punishing kiss that drew blood. His teeth scraped my neck as he yanked open my hospital gown, branding my skin with marks no collar could hide. The nurse fled wide-eyed during my next bandage change. Mortified yet helpless, I realized how fiercely possessive this man truly was. A month passed before I fully recovered. Ethan had arranged my medical leave through the university. Director Smith from my department kept texting concerned check-ins. Odd, since we'd only exchanged nods before. Back on campus, his sudden mentorship felt strange but harmless. Then came the text, heartbroken. Need drinks. Feeling obligated after his recent help? I agreed. The bar he chose made me pause, no women in sight. Director Smith, I asked over my cocktail. What kind of place is this? His answer froze my glass mid-sip. A gay bar. Lucas, he purred, eyes glinting. I knew we were the same since that faculty mixer. When I stared blankly, he leaned closer with a greasy smile. Stop pretending. You and Ethan are together, right? I don't mind a threesome. I was completely stunned, briefly questioning if my ears were malfunctioning. How else could I be hearing such morally bankrupt words? Director Smith rubbed against my arm, his greasy 50-something frame leaning into me. Nausea rose in my throat. I shoved him away immediately, landing a solid punch. As I stood to leave, sudden dizziness washed over me. My body burned with unnatural heat, mouth parched. Seeing Director Smith's lewd smirk and recalling the wine we'd shared, realization struck. That fossil actually drugged me? I punched my own thigh hard, using pain to cling to consciousness, grabbing him by the collar. I dragged the bastard outside. Rolling up sleeves, I unleashed righteous fury. Half-rotten grave dodger using date rape tactics? I spat between blows, knuckles cracking against jawbone. Disgrace to educators. Filthy predator. Senile deviant. When his wheezing turned concerning, I dialed Ethan's number. He roofied me. Come get me now. Only after giving the address did I notice the motel beside us. Fresh rage ignited, the bastard had planned this thoroughly. When Ethan arrived, the drug's effects peaked. Back at his place, I seized his face for a desperate kiss. Fumbling with buttons proved too tedious, fabric tore under impatient hands. Fire consumed my lower abdomen. When he pinned me to the mattress, I slurred protest through the haze. Wait, position's wrong, my palm slapped weakly at his shoulder. Ethan, you ass. Don't touch there.